Channel guys, it's me, Irvin, with another manga chapter review. This chapter was a little bit confusing and now I don't know who the prophet is. Before I start, I'm gonna give you a few things. One, if you haven't done so, do subscribe to my channel. If you guys wanna know when I upload or when I go live, then hit that bell button. Secondly, if you haven't seen the first 9 videos on this series, then you're pretty behind and you can still watch them in my channel, so go check them out on my channel. And then lastly, guys, thank you so much for all the love and support, but this is a spoiler warning. If you've been warned, if you don't want the 10th chapter to be ruined, then, well, you've been warned. So this is the 4th chapter of the 2nd volume, and the previous chapter, we get this big revelation where Marie says, I am the prophet. Now, Marie has been quiet throughout this entire time, so for her to speak up and say that, it was pretty boldly of her. The chapter begins with Marie's past, her being extremely bullied by a few girls in her classroom. And then we see her seeing the screen of who the person that she hates or that ruined her life is, and that is Tada-kun. Now, Tada-kun was told that one of her bullies had a crush on Tada-kun. Now, Tada-kun says, you know what? She's cute, she's smart, but she's a big bully to Marie. So I don't think she's a good person. And the guy tells this to the other girl, and she gets this big rage against Marie. And so much that she takes 2 other girls, and between them 2, they beat her up. They take pictures of her in a very inappropriate way and upload them on the internet. Now, up to this point, I thought Marie was the younger sister of the Inoue sisters, but Marie is actually the older sister, and Konami is the younger sister. And she finally reveals it that, you know, hasn't been a good big sister. She just hasn't been a good example, and she didn't know why, and now she knows why because of Tada-kun. But it wasn't really his fault either. It wasn't as if Tada thought that he was gonna ruin her life by saying so. So anyway, she speaks up and says who the werewolf is halfway in the chapter, and that's Machimura-san. She says, it's Machimura-san, that's the werewolf. And he freaks out. He starts freaking out and saying, how dare you say stuff like that? And you know, you can see veins in his face and everything. And he says, no, you're the werewolf, and you're the one that's trying to hide it. And everyone is kind of looking at both of them like, okay, what's going on? And then Machimura says, you know what? I'm going to vote already, and I vote for you, Marie. You're the werewolf. And then Tagashi stands up and says, I'm with you, Machimura. Marie's the werewolf. And she says, what? Why? And Tagashi says, because I am the prophet and you can't be the prophet. So then they question them, and Marie says the prophet was given the ability of choosing who they were or who the person was by marking the person she wanted to investigate on the control. Tagashi seemed, at least in the artwork, that he didn't know this information. He just jumps on board and says, oh yeah, that's how it is. Now, this is where it gets more confusing. Hitomi jumps in the conversation and says, well, it seems like one of you guys, if not both, are the werewolves because I am the prophet. And it's weird that you guys know that key information. So that is basically what's going on in chapter 10. At the end of the chapter, Machimura curses Marie and says, I won't let you ruin my life again like before. And that's just kind of like how the chapter ends. So I'm going to guess this 11th chapter, we're going to get a background story on Machimura of how his life was ruined. And then I guess the voting will be done in the last chapter of the second volume. And man, the second volume is almost over. The third volume is the last volume of the series. So I'm so excited to see what happens and who are actually the werewolves and how everything came to be this way. So make sure you guys keep up with me. Out of 10, I'm going to leave it at a 7.5. Guys, thank you so much for all love and support. If you agree or not with my rating, leave in the comment section below. Again, if you haven't done so, subscribe to my channel, guys. And with nothing